I think I'm a special one.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
All right, back in the stew, episode
16.
This is 16. All right, episode 16. What's up, bro?
How you doing?
Good, man. So we're back, episode 16. Last episode, we talked about the December camp. What else we talked about? Oh, we talked about like some Liga MX, MLS merger kind of stuff. A little bit of like promotion relegation talk.
Yeah, that got me going a little bit.
Yeah. Not great takes, man. Your takes need some work.
Need some work. They're my takes.
Yeah,
they're not personal opinion.
They're not good takes. They're not good takes.
All right.
Yeah, what are you wearing?
So I'm wearing this Barcelona training jersey. I don't know where it's from. Just found it in my closet, but
It's pretty close. It's like FC Barcelona on the side.
yeah, it's tough.
Is there anything on the back?
Nothing on the back.
It says FCB. Nice. So I'm wearing, so I don't know. It's like mid-90s, early 2000s Colombia jersey. I got to look it up. So it's Colombian national team, whatever this brand is, or, so one of our old trainers, Johnny Gonzalez, he's my boy. He gave it to me. He's Colombian. He moved here when he was, 15, 16, something like that. So when I started training with him for Christmas, he gave it to me one year. So it's a pretty cool jersey. Yeah, so it's like one of my favorite jerseys. It's pretty cool. It's like very retro, like big puffy sleeves, like thick, like with a collar. So it's cool. So I had to bring this out. Let's see if we can get a better view. There we go. Yeah, so hopefully you guys can see it a little better. All right. So today we're going to talk about, kind of want to get one more episode in on like an update on like leagues and like current news stuff that's happening. And then like in the future, we'll start to work in like those like specialty episodes where we pick a topic and really kind of like dissect this. So this one, we're thinking about going in on first Mark McKenzie, probably moving on from the Union. We're going to give like an update on like specifically English Premier League, like the top teams, just kind of like go through like some of our takes there, and then maybe kind of like look at some other leagues, or like Chad had a few hot takes the other night. So like maybe he could like give us some of his like really poorly constructed takes again. Cause yeah, they need some work.
What exactly are we talking about?
Remember the other night you were we'll get to it, but I was trying to argue that like differences in the Premier League and other leagues and the benefits of watching other leagues. And Chad was just talking about how like the English Premier League is like by far the best league. And like,
I didn't say by far. We can get to it.
Mm-hmm.
But, all right, you want to twist my words.
All right, so let me pull it up on my phone here. So big news this week was Philadelphia Union. We like Mark McKenzie. I'll toot my own horn one more time. It's like 2 or 3 years ago, we were sitting at a random U.S. Open Cup game, and Mark McKenzie, our homegrown center back, I was like, dude, he's next level. Like, he's going to a big club at some point. Like he just knows how to play. He's so good. He's reportedly being sold to KRC Genk in the Belgian First Division for $6 million and like some incentives. So the rumor was he was going to go to Celtic in Scotland. Then there was like some Bundesliga rumors or like some low end like English Premier League rumors. But he goes to Genk. So they play in the First Division in Belgium. They, like it's not like tough competition. They play Anderlecht, Ghent, who's a different team. This ends in a K. Ghent ends in a T. I got that mixed up in the first. There's a couple other like
I don't know,
pretty well known teams, but like Matt Miazga plays Vitesse. No. That's the Dutch team that he played for. He plays in this league. I forget who
I'm
he
not
plays
familiar
for.
with the league, but they produce some quality players.
Yeah, there's been a lot of American MLS guys that went over there in the past as well. And when I first heard it, I was like, what are we doing here? Like, why not just sell him to the Bundesliga? Like, is that the way you felt too? Like,
no, because I feel like selling him to a club like that, he'll get a better opportunity.
Mhm.
You know, Genk, right? It's Genk.
Genk.
Knows how to produce good young players.
Mhm.
They have in the past. I mean, can I just read off the list of players that they?
Yeah, I have that here too. So, first, Matt Miazga, yeah, he's playing for Anderlecht in Belgium. So,
Miazga is.
yeah. So, Jonathan Tannewald, who covers the Union, kind of broke this story, and he has like a pretty good article about him. So, you have the list of players that they developed.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
notable ones are Kevin De Bruyne, Leon Bailey, who's.
Do you have the prices there too?
Yeah, they sold Kevin. Yeah, they sold. I guess they sold Kevin De Bruyne to Chelsea. They don't have the price at which they sold him to.
Yeah. Okay.
Leon Bailey, who's a CONCACAF player, Jamaican winger. Yannick Carrasco, Christian Benteke, Kalidou Koulibaly, Divock Origi, Thibaut Courtois, Wilfred Ndidi, Milinkovic Savic, the Lazio center mid, and those are the notable ones.
There's some others on here too, like this article
Some
from
world-class players. Right?
Tannenwald. They give some prices. So they sold Sander Berg to Sheffield for $28.8 million. Leandro Trossard to Brighton for $22.9 million. Mbwana Samata to Aston Villa for $11 million. Atlanta bought Ukrainian midfielder Malin Oski
players that people don't
for
know.
$15.3 million. And then there's another Danish guy for 12.1. So basically these are all like high profile, you know, like they're selling high profile players to big clubs.
So it's not a team where he's going to go and play there for a lot of years. I feel like he'll go. He could do really well there while also playing for the national team and eventually be sold to a bigger club.
Yeah.
Which is not – he's not going there to stay there for a lot of years. He's going there and it's going to be sold eventually. They're a selling club.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know how, like – it'd be hard to see him it would be hard to see this help his national team spot in the immediate future, if you know what I mean. Because, like, if you say – so Miazga's playing for Anderlecht, who's, like, by far, like, basically the best team. But, like, if McKenzie's playing for Genk, who's, like, the third or fourth best team, it's hard to be like, oh, like, McKenzie's in there as a starter. It's easier to, like, for him to get his foot in the door as an MLS player. But if this translates to a move in 2 years and he's sold for $25 million or something to, I don't know, like a Bundesliga team, like that's going to help him, you know?
Yeah, well, I honestly think it will help him with the national team. You know, it depends on who you ask. If you ask someone like you loved MLS, you would prefer MLS players over European players.
I wouldn't prefer them. I just prefer the best player, and I know what to look for.
But a lot of people like the European players. But I think that's a place where you could do really well, play a lot of minutes, and stand out. And I'm looking at the standings right now. And we forgot a big one, Club Brugge.
Oh, yeah, I did hear that.
They're the Giants. And,
Bruges and Anderlecht.
I don't know if Anderlecht's that good. They might be like Europa League team or something, but they're fourth right now.
Maybe, you know what?
Genk is
Anderlecht,
second.
when Sasha Kleiston, the American midfielder, went to Anderlecht at one point, and at the time they were like Champions League every year. Andy Nahar from DC United went there. Somebody else went there too. I forget. But I
feel like
Genk isn't in the Champions League. I don't think they're in Champions League or Europa League this year, but they're going to qualify for the tournament next year. So like he'll be playing Champions League hopefully next year.
I feel like a league like Belgium. I don't really watch Belgium, but I watched a little bit of the Netherlands. Like I assume they're kind of similar leagues. I feel like that's a place where a lot of young American players go and can develop.
This Genk team seems like they're like all internationals. Like all they're trying to do is sell players. Like they probably make a ton of money from it. And I was thinking like the Union, like there's MLS teams or MLS teams in the past that would sell players. Just, you know, give me the biggest price tag you can. We'll bring in a player and like replace them like a like for like. But the Union, like with Aronson to Salzburg, I'm sure he could have went somewhere better where they could have gotten more money from him. But they sent him to Salzburg because they know well, one, they trust Jesse Marsh. They know he's going to get some playing time, and they add on like a key sell-on clause too. I think for Aronson it was like 10%. So they'll get money from like a future transfer. And same with this Genk transfer too for McKenzie. Like I'm sure the Union will make money when he gets transferred again, and it's part of like the brand. Like I don't think the Union are smart enough to realize, Ernst Tanner especially, the sporting director, is smart enough to realize that going from the Union to Chelsea or the Union to heck even like Everton or Napoli or like a big club or a mid-table club in a Big Five league isn't realistic. Like we're still
that's
away
why
from
it doesn't happen a lot.
But what it is like I'm sure Genk is really, really good, but MLS and the Belgian MLS is probably top to bottom like a little bit better than the Belgian league. But like I'm sure the top 5 to 6 teams in the Belgian league are better than MLS. So like it's basically just a showcase for McKenzie for a couple of years. So they use these. It's just like a stepping stone. So they're go from MLS to Genk, and then Genk gets them up to that next level.
Yeah, well, it's good business for Genk too.
Yeah.
You see a good young center back coming up, and they can sell on.
Yeah. So it's like you could sell McKenzie to Newcastle or to Sheffield or whatever, and he could be playing in a Big Five league, and you're like, oh yeah, we just sold this guy to Premier League, great. But if he doesn't succeed there and it's not the best, and he doesn't develop, then you could make more money on these potential sell-on clauses, and I think it's good business, and it's good for the Union brand too.
Yeah. Well, it's unrealistic for him to go to a top 5 league.
Yeah, but all right. Think about where we've come with Matt Miazga. If Matt Miazga was on the Union when instead of the Red Bulls selling him for a few million to Chelsea, if he was on the Union, maybe they sell him to a team like a stepping stone like Genk or Salzburg or somebody like that that's knows what they're doing, and maybe Matt Miazga has a better career. Miazga wasted 3 or 4 years and now ends up in this basically the same situation as McKenzie. And at the time, Miazga was like our savior as center back for the national team. So it's a good thing.
That's why the Red Bull system is so good. Like you got New York Red Bulls, they send them on to Salzburg.
Well, yeah, at the time they didn't do that.
I know, but now it's like they can get them to Salzburg.
Dude, I bet they like Union players better. Just watch.
I mean, yeah, they already got Aronson.
Mm-hmm. So that's cool. I think it's cool to see a homegrown leave. We got more coming up too. So the Union will now have I don't know, just from Aronson and McKenzie, 12 to 15 million to spend. Plus they could be selling the left back Kai Wagner. Hopefully they make a splash, really good signing. And MLS teams, if you could sell one guy a year for $2 million, $3 million, you know what I mean? That money goes in and funds the academy for a year or so. And you should keep producing these guys. And not every homegrown is going to be a sell to Europe either. Luckily the Union are doing it right. So we're developing good players. But if you get a homegrown that is a squad player for 7 or 8 years, get him for cheap for a few years, and he's just a squad player that you keep on the roster, that's also a success.
Yeah, well, the Union need to spend their money now.
Yeah, it's time to spend some money. So they've gotten by. Not that they're cheap. They've always been sort of middle of the pack, but they've never had a splash signing. And when you don't have a top big name signing, it's easier to miss on those guys than it is to hit, I think. Okay. Yeah. Still Marco Fabian flashbacks. That guy was brutal.
You're right.
All right, you want to talk about some Premier League?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's run through the big teams.
So Everton?
No, I said the big teams, bro.
Darn it. Yeah, so we got Liverpool.
So let's go through, in the order that they are in the table. We'll go through the table, but we'll talk about the big teams a little bit more.
Yeah. Liverpool and Man U tied for first. Both played 16 games. Wow. Both on 33 points.
What do you think of Liverpool?
I mean,
they got to be the favorites to win the league.
What was their last game? Their last game, we were watching it in the car. They ended up winning that one?
Newcastle. I think they tied.
They tied? So they tied.
No, I think they won late. Oh, you might have checked.
All right, but they dropped points against West Brom.
Yeah, they gave up a late equalizer in that one. I still think Liverpool are probably the favorites. Did you have the result?
Yeah, they tied Newcastle 0-0. So they're dropping points right now. Mm-hmm. I think they're missing Van Dijk, they're missing Matip and Joe Gomez in the
They've been-
back.
I mean, Fabinho's done a good job back there, but
Yeah, but they can't find someone to play next to him.
Mhm.
I forget the dude with the ponytail.
yeah, the young guy, Williams,
Is that his name, Williams?
I think so.
And then they played the other dude, Phillips, back
Mhm.
there, and I don't know who they plan on starting there, but
Yeah,
Thiago's coming back, so I
yeah.
feel like their midfield's gonna be strong, and then
That
they still
team's
got their
deep.
front three. So
Yeah, front four now, Jota
yeah,
sometimes.
you're right.
Yeah,
Right.
I like that's why I was always so high on Guardiola, was because I think it's super hard to like do that well in the Premier League or any league multiple years in a row, especially a league like the Premier League. So like when Pep just like runs through the Premier League 2 years in a row, that's really impressive. So Liverpool's doing it too, and like that's really impressive. But I could see them falling off, and you see like I feel like they're better at grinding out games now. Like last year, they would just like press teams to death and like win the ball back and like win games with ease. You know, doesn't seem like they're winning games as easy now.
Yeah. Well, here, let me say this. It hurts me to say it as an Everton fan, but you loved when Man City was like winning, killing people in the Premier League.
I just like to see it.
Liverpool's doing it. Like
Ah,
Liverpool's
man.
done it the past 2 years. They could have won the Premier League 2 years ago. Remember when they lost to
Yeah,
Man City?
City. Yeah,
So close. They'll probably end up winning again this year. Probably. Who's gonna? Man, you gonna fight for
I don't
fight
know.
for the
I don't wanna
title
see
this
Man-
year? Like, come
I-
on.
I don't wanna
Eventually,
see
they're
Man-
gonna fall
yeah.
off.
you're right.
But
I don't know.
Liverpool will probably end up winning again, and
I don't know. Who else? Who's next? Man United.
yeah, me and you.
So they like you watch them and like I'm not convinced every time I watch them, you know, but like they just do it. Like they're grinding out results. Like like Pogba. So we're recording this on Saturday, the January 2nd. So was it yesterday? Pogba, gets tripped in the box, earns a penalty, and they win on that penalty. It's like cheap. It's not convincing, but like they're good. Like I think the diamond midfield is like it's doing okay for them just because they're able to get like they're just able to get good players on the field. If you get like I thought Pogba had a really good game yesterday. If you get a good game out of Pogba, I don't know. Like I always say, I like Rashford. Like I think he's really good.
It's the weirdest thing because they just get so good right when they're about to sack their manager,
Yeah,
and then they just get really good.
they just save his job.
Yeah, and then they end up tied for first in the Premier League, but like when they're in bad form, they're like at the bottom. Like I don't get it,
Yeah,
but
I don't
there
know.
they are.
Like you would think they're gonna long term, like they need a signing, and like they're not just gonna get by with Martial and like Daniel James and like Matic does a job. I always like McTominay, but he's probably not good enough to be like a long term answer if you're gonna be like a first or second place team like that. I do like their defense. Like say what you want about Maguire, like he's solid. Eric Bailly is solid. I don't know why people
Bailly's
hate
been
him.
playing really good.
I don't get it. Wan-Bissaka has played really well every time I've watched him, dude.
Yeah.
He's good. I like Luke Shaw. I think Luke Shaw's pretty good too.
Yeah, people are hating on me because I said Luke Shaw is like a decent player.
Yeah,
And
people that
like he's keeping Tellez off the field.
yeah, and they've been rotating their squad a little bit, but I feel like Man United fans have like such hot takes, especially people that like I don't know, people like on Twitter or something.
So you're coming at Man United fans right now?
The ones I see on Twitter somehow. And like everybody just has a hot take. Maybe it's just because it's a big team and everyone's like, oh, this guy stinks. This guy stinks. This guy's good. It's like Luke Shaw's not a bad player. I don't know why you're complaining. And then people praise Bruno Fernandes, who's a good player, but like, gosh, he scores a penalty every game. Like he doesn't even earn them,
Yeah.
which is getting kind of annoying. And I like him as a player.
Yeah, I do.
So who's next?
Spurs are third.
Ooh, big jump for Spurs. I don't know if that's sustainable, man. Like,
They beat Leeds today. They beat Leeds 3-0. It's the day we're recording.
oh, did I send you that tweet? Let me find this.
What tweet is it?
It had expected points versus actual points.
No, you didn't send it to me.
Ah, man.
It's all right.
Yeah, that's things. It was a tweet, based on expected goals and expected goals against versus like their actual points in the table. It just doesn't seem like Spurs is like sustainable, like how they're playing. They just sit so deep and they grind out results. And like I get Mourinho wants them to be like physical and like like tough and whatever. But if you're like a big team, you got to like boss the game, like put your foot on the pedal and like go.
I think they do that a little bit. I think they really don't sit back that much, like as much as people say.
They've done it a few times. Today
They'll give the other team possession, but like they're not gonna let them take over the whole game. Like,
yeah,
Kane and Son are deadly.
yeah.
Kane's assist today was insane.
Son's a guy I was high on before most people. I'll say I was right. Big Son.
Yeah, when he was already at Spurs.
No, yeah, he was at Spurs, but he wasn't Son. He was just like Son. You're still Son.
He wasn't Son, but
he wasn't Sonny.
Yeah, you're right.
But like now, everybody knows he's really good. And we were having the debate the other day. Like, would you rather have Sadio Mane or Son? And like, I don't know, man. It's close. I guess it depends, like who else you have on your team. I think I gotta go Son, bro.
It depends on the type of.
Like, there's people who will say like Sadio Mane is like a top 5 or 10 player in the world. It's like kind of ridiculous.
No, he is. He's top 10 player in the world for sure. I don't know about top 5, but
dude
scores goals, bro. He is good.
So does Son.
Dude, Mane is so athletic.
Okay, so Son.
He just finds a way to like score. Like Mane, like he'll find a way to get the ball in the box. Or
if you swapped him, I think Son could do what Mane is doing to a better extent than what Mane could do for Spurs.
Nah, because Son's not as athletic as Mane. But Son's different in other ways. They're different players.
They're more similar than most players that we could compare.
What do you mean?
Like, Son and Mane are closer than Son and Salah. Or Son and some random winger.
Son and Salah are more similar than Son and Mane.
That doesn't even make sense, dude. This is such a dumb argument, but like you don't even make sense. All right, let's move on from Spurs. Just don't be shocked if like Spurs drop a few points here and there, because I don't feel like it's sustainable for a whole time. Mourinho's probably smart enough to, like, if he has to, like, tank a couple games and, like, get them, recharged and ready to go. Who's next?
So in fourth is Leicester.
Mm-hmm. Like they'll be around there. I don't see them like staying in the Champions League spot, but like, dude, Vardy's just class. I think we were talking about it the other day. Like who else in the Premier League would you rather have as a number 9? Like, who did I compare him to? You gave me Vardy, Calvert-Lewin,
and Danny Ings.
And Danny Ings, and like it's Vardy, like huge gap, and then the other two. So like it's not even close.
I don't know. I don't know if it's that far.
Dude, it's pretty far.
But Vardy can create things on his own just because of the way he plays. Like he'll not do anything for 90 minutes. He'll get the least touches on the field and then score a game winner.
And like the way he makes his runs too, though, is like it opens everything up for the rest of the guys. So that's important.
Yeah. And Harvey Barnes has been scoring like every game.
Mm-hmm.
I like that dude.
Who's next?
So my boys, Everton, are in 5th. They lost to West Ham.
Yeah, that was a terrible game.
You can't be losing to West Ham.
Oh my gosh.
I thought Richarlison was poor. I thought Sigurdsson isn't doing enough to provide service to Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah, but it's like they don't like. Yeah,
I thought Andre Gomez was good when he came on.
Yeah, I haven't been impressed when I've watched him. Like they sub in James, and James just kind of walks around like he's playing on the right wing and just tucks in as like an attacking midfielder. And like there's so much space for who is it? Coleman.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, doesn't.
Yeah, they didn't switch the ball enough. But
yeah, I wasn't impressed the last couple of games. Earlier in the year, they're fun to watch.
Dude, James can do things that nobody else on the team can do. Though.
Yeah,
he's the best player on the team.
Yeah. But I could see them falling out a little bit. Who's next?
Chelsea's in 6th.
Oh, my gosh. I had a rant on here a couple weeks ago about Chelsea. Dude, Lampard has no clue what he's doing half the time, dude. I'll start. The back, they're solid. I do think Reece James is good, but I feel like they rely on him to get up the field so much. And it's not like he's like Dani Alves. He's Reece James. The way they'll play is like sometimes it's Pulisic or whoever on the right, but he wants them to tuck in. It's like he's telling them to tuck in. So Reece James has all this space. He's just whipping balls to nobody. In the midfield, I still don't know what their best midfield is. Conte's obviously taken a step back, but he's not bad. I've seen people call him bad. He's not bad. I love Kovacic.
Wait, before you go to Conte, I think, or move on from Conte, I think he has lost a little bit. He's not like the same Conte as before.
Yeah.
But they're just putting him, just sitting him right in front of the back line as if like he's that type of player.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't say he's box to box, but he likes to get all over the field. Like that's the type of player he is. So
yeah.
I think they need someone else to go next to him, and I don't think that's Kovacic. I think Kovacic is too attack minded. I don't think it's Jorginho because he.
Yeah, I don't.
Or maybe it is.
Jorginho is really good, like a really good player. It's just like I wouldn't have him as like a first choice center mid if I was building the team because I don't necessarily want that kind of player.
I think it's time for Billy Gilmore.
Billy, he's good. I always like Billy Gilmore. One time, I think I was telling you, I was watching like a random UEFA Champions League youth match or something. And it was from like 2017. So I was like 3 years old. It came up on my YouTube suggested videos list. And I was just watching it. And I was like, this guy's pretty good. And it happened to be Billy Gilmore.
Oh, word.
I have a real eye for talent. And I always said I thought Mason Mount was an attacking midfielder. Like, he doesn't need to play every game. Like, the team doesn't need to go through Mason Mount.
Dude, I love Mason Mount, bro.
Yeah.
He's really good.
Yeah, you don't need to love him, though. He's a guy. Like,
I like to watch him play.
I think at this point, Kovacic is better than him.
Creative.
If you're playing one defensive mid and two like fairly similar center mids like on the same line, Kovacic is better than Mount. But if Mount's clearly higher and Kovacic is next to Conte, then yeah, that works.
I don't know. I haven't seen much from Kovacic this season.
I don't know, dude. I think Kovacic is important. Like the fact that he could win a ball or get a pass and just like break through and start the attack,
Yeah,
that's very valuable.
Dude, what game did we watch? The Chelsea game. And how many times did he do that? Like I didn't even know he was playing that game. What game did we watch?
I don't think he started that game.
It was the Arsenal game. Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. He started that game and got subbed out at halftime. So
yeah, but the team was terrible that game. So I think that game is especially Timo Werner started on the left. I think we've been saying it. I don't think he's a winger. He's probably best as a forward that, runs the channels. Like, so I think it's not fair that Lampard is playing him out of position. But if the idea was that you buy him and you make him a winger, you don't want him to be a forward, there's going to be like some, I don't know, what do you call it, growing pains that like it's part of the process to learn the position. But at this point, he is what he is, right? He's like 24 years old.
Yeah, something like that.
So he's not like super young. Pulisic on the right, like for me, not being a biased American or anything, but what Pulisic did when the Premier League came back and he's that good on the left, then play him on the left. Now, I think a winger should be able to play both sides. But it seems to me that Pulisic on the right just wants to drift inside and it leaves more space for Reece James. But if Pulisic's inside, right, and you have a forward all the way up the field, Pulisic's a bit underneath the forward, there's still a lot of space that opposition left back now doesn't have to defend. So, yeah, Pulisic is creating an overload in like underneath the striker, but there's a whole section of the field they don't have to defend until Reece James comes up the field, and that's like 10 seconds too late. And, I don't know what they're trying to accomplish with that.
I think Pulisic's Chelsea's best attacker when he's on the left.
Yeah.
By far.
I like Callum Hudson-Odoi on the right.
Yeah, he's been okay.
He's okay. He's not great, but he's okay.
And you love Giroud.
I love Giroud. Like, if you have Giroud and you're struggling, like, there's no reason to struggle when you have Giroud. Put him in the game. He'll probably score at least every other game. It's better than having, like, I'm not a Tammy Abraham guy. I don't know why I'm getting so mad at this. But Tammy Abraham's not good. I don't get it, dude.
Dude.
He's never in the box to, like, score these goals. And, like, he scored a goal in that Arsenal game, which is absolutely terrible because I thought he had an awful game.
Yeah, you're right. He did.
And he scored 2 against, who is it, West Ham, the game before?
I
think it was.
The game before was
yeah, they won 3-0 at home against West Ham, but they were up 1-0 most of the game.
Yeah, bro.
And off a corner kick goal. And they got absolutely bossed at home by West Ham. So, like, and Tommy Abraham was nowhere to be found, and they scores, like, I think 2 crap goals at the end of the game to make himself look good. His hold-up plays, like, average. I feel like his runs are never there. Every time Reece James finally gets up the field to whip in a cross, Tammy Abrams not there. So
Yeah, he doesn't know how to find space in the box as good as Giroud.
yeah, Giroud's literally like, dude, you can't really have a better player than Giroud at what he does. Like, I'm not saying there's not better number 9s, but like, dude, he's so good. I would play Giroud. And we forgot about Havertz. I don't even know what that guy's best position is. Like, maybe play him as an attacking midfielder and play 2 like center mids. You know what I mean?
Right, attacking midfield forward.
Yeah, withdrawn. Like, and he like, yeah. So I think it's a mess. I think there was a clear disconnect between whoever's buying the players and whatever the heck Lampard wanted to do, because it's been a year and a half and Lampard has no vision for how his team wants to play. I was on here talking like a month or 2 ago about how every time there's a big game, Lampard used to play 3 in the back or 5 in the back, however you want to say it. He didn't trust the system to play against good teams. The system doesn't work against bad teams.
Give me a sec to talk.
Go ahead.
So I defend Frank Lampard a little bit. I think, yeah, he needs to find like a real system, because I can't really tell you what Chelsea were trying to do.
Yeah.
Defensively or when they're attacking.
Mm-hmm.
But last year was his first year. This year he has like 6 new starters in the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's hard when there's like no real team chemistry in that team. It's hard to do things because of COVID or whatever. I've heard an interview with a player saying like, yeah, it's hard. Like, we can't really do anything. It's hard for the coach because there's so many new players in the team.
Yeah, that's another thing. They had the transfer ban, but it's a clear disconnect from Lampard and whoever is buying the players.
And I just want to say what I think the Chelsea lineup should be.
Right,
I think they should try a 4-4-2.
Okay.
Stick with the back. Mendy's still in goal. Stick with the back 4 that you've been rocking with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've been doing
center mids, I think Conte should obviously be in there. I don't know who you want to put as the other one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Either Jorginho or Kovacic, the options. I think you put – you're going to hate it, but I think you put Mount on the left. I think you put Pulisic on the right, even though I just said Pulisic is Chelsea's best attacker. But you can figure that out, how it goes. And then the front 2, try Werner and Giroud up top. Big man, small man.
Big man, small man.
That's English football, 4-4-2.
Havertz was killing it in the Bundesliga, and then it's just turned to garbage now. And then, like, so I always thought Mason Mount didn't play well as a winger and was much better as the player profile that he has is like better as an attacking midfielder. But I don't know. Don't forget you have Ziyech too.
Yeah, but he's hurt right now, right?
Yeah. So what is his best position as well? Like
right wing.
Very definitive. Right wing.
No, like he only plays right wing.
Okay, so it's just, I don't know. Good teams have depth. This doesn't seem like depth. It seems like bodies, you know? I don't know.
They play City tomorrow, so.
I hope City absolutely just crush them unless Pulisic plays. Then I'll root. So if Pulisic plays, I root for Chelsea. If he doesn't, then I root against him. All right, so let's move on. Let's kind of breeze through these next few.
All right, so Villa's in 7th. Shout out to homie Jack Grealish.
I like Jack Grealish, man. I've heard some people give some hot takes that like he's basically as good as Neymar for Aston Villa. If you look like his goal contributions, it makes sense. Like it's
you could tell it's like when he's around the ball, they pass to him.
Yeah,
it's like when they do that, and he's that good at dribbling past players, like. Gonna happen.
He could fit in any team in the world.
Whoa!
Like he's not gonna like out Messi, but like he could play for any team in the world and do well.
He's just a wild dude off the field.
Yeah.
All right, in 8th is City.
Yeah, I think City's if they find their form, they'll be.
Yeah. I don't know how is City in 8th.
I don't know. I just
every game they win or tie.
I feel like we'll. Let's bring that up later because I have a debate or like a good topic later. So who's next after City?
Dude, their like last loss was they lost to Spurs and then Leicester.
They probably just have a bunch of draws.
Yeah.
And then
Giants
who's
lost. And then you got Southampton, West Ham, and then Arsenal's 11th, finding their form. They won 4-0 today.
All right. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but haven't I always told you that in most cases, I don't like playing 3 in the back, and I like 4 in the back better. And Arsenal find their form as soon as they start playing 4 defenders. They play a 4-3-3. Makes a lot more sense. I think Arteta was like, I'm getting out of my own way. I'm stopped trying to overcoach. Like the center midfielders I had, like when they would try to build up in a 3-4-3, it was so the goalkeeper would pass their 3 center backs. Their wing backs would be way up the field, but also their wingers were right next to their wing backs. So like pretty easy to mark those. Their 2 center mids would just be on a line. So like they weren't really staggered. They would both just check back for the ball, whoever it was. And it just didn't work out. It didn't seem like there was any like cohesion. They were all on the same line. It was like basically their 3 defenders, 2 center midfielders trying to build up and then pass it to their wing backs and wingers, but like they never got it there. And when they did, everyone was too clumped together anyway.
I think people got to relax. I said this to you like so many times. I might say it to you like 2 times a day. Like fans get like so worked up about being in bad form. Like I feel like team like Chelsea right now, they're in bad form, but they're honestly not even that bad of form. Like it could be worse. They'll eventually pick back up. They'll eventually be fighting in the top 4. Arsenal will eventually probably be up there towards the end of the season.
They're not good enough to be in the top 4.
No.
Like,
no, not top 4.
Yeah.
It's not
even
ahead of ourselves.
No. Like I'm not saying this season. I'm saying like with the
Arsenal.
team they have, even if Arteta was like the best manager in the world, like with the team they have, I don't think that team could finish top 4. But like they could play better. And like today, I think you saw Aubameyang on the wing, Lacazette up top.
Well, I didn't see the game, but
it just looks better when they don't play that. And they were never that bad. Like it'd be kind of funny if they did get relegated, but or had to fight.
Yeah. And then you look all the way to the bottom, and Sheffield is still on 2 points.
2 points, yeah. So actually on that chart that I was talking about a few minutes ago with actual points versus expected points, Sheffield had like, I don't know, 10 expected points compared to their 2 actual points. So, they lost today, but as a bettor, like might have to just start betting Sheffield to win or draw, because there's no way they're going to go the whole season without a win. And they're probably just unlucky most of these games.
Yeah, you're right, but they're not going to win a lot. So now if you're a bettor, you're just going to keep losing money.
The odds are probably pretty good though. And we did watch the game today, Palace and Sheffield, and I didn't think Sheffield looked good at all. It didn't look like they were, not that they weren't trying, but like there was no like oomph to them, like slow to defend, slow to close down. It was ugly, but Palace looked pretty good.
Yeah, like the Palace just got a few players that can take players on. They just rely on those guys for their whole attack.
Yeah, obviously Zaha. How do you say our guy's name?
Eze.
He's smooth, man. Like I know he looks a lot like Camavinga, the French center midfielder, but like he's got the same smoothness on the ball as well. I don't want to just because they have like the same hairstyle and they look the same, but that dude is like, they get the ball and they're like really smooth with it, can kind of like skip past the guy here and there. Like that's quality. Watch out for him. I just hit him with the follow on Instagram. So
right.
Yeah, that's how you know it's legit. So yeah, that's kind of like my thoughts on the Premier League.
Same.
Yeah, we've been enjoying the games. I love like around Christmas time when there's a ton of games on. It's just like, it's like 12:30. Let's just turn on the game. Let's see who's on.
Yeah, but it sucks because some games are getting canceled because of COVID.
Yeah. Zach Steffen might start tomorrow for Man City, I heard.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. So they're probably without a few guys. All right. So the last thing I'm going to talk about today. So we had a debate the other night about, I forget what I was trying to argue. I was trying to say that Chad thinks English Premier League is like far and away the best league or most competitive.
I said it is.
But what I was trying to argue is that I think it's a hard league to go to because everybody's like really like grinding out results, and not that they don't do that in other leagues, but to me, it seems like there's more of a style with teams in other leagues. Like if you watch a Serie A game or like a first division French game or something like that, I feel like it's easier to see a team like try something different tactically, or like do some, like you see like more exciting young players as opposed to a Premier League game where everything is like kind of the same. What do you think?
What do you mean? Like,
What do you mean? What do I mean? Like the Premier League, everyone's the same, and it's just like, let's get these 3 points and move on. And like you see Manchester United going from a 4-2-3-1 to a diamond midfield. Like there's no system there. They don't really play a system. They just have better players than the other teams.
So you're saying just every team's the same, just some teams have better players?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of tactical innovations. There's not like I think there's more money in the Premier League. That's why all the teams are so good. But you see, I think La Liga took a dip because, like, yeah, their play style is good. They're developing players, but the scouting, maybe the analytics, the nutrition, like it's not quite on par as these German teams are super savvy, or like Genk in the Belgian league. They're not in a big league, but they're super savvy. That's why they're making this money. Now there's other teams like the English Premier League, or that's why Real Madrid and Barcelona have fallen off, because they're not as savvy. They're just using this money to buy players, and sometimes that doesn't work. That's why there's flops. That's why you buy a Lukaku for 70 million or 90 million, like Man United, and he doesn't work out. But he goes to Inter Milan and works out. Like, I feel like there's more quality teams doing that in other leagues.
All right. Yeah, I don't really know what your point is. You basically
You just didn't listen.
You basically just said that every team in the Premier League is just like a team, just buying players.
Yeah, because there's more money.
You don't watch as much. You don't watch the other leagues as much as you watch the Premier League. So how would you know?
I know, but you could tell when a team has like a system. There's less. That's why there's more players coming out of these leagues being sold, and they're just getting bought to Premier League teams. And you could tell when, like, you watch a Premier League game, and a lot of these teams don't have a system. It's just like players in a formation.
Or you just can't identify the system that they're playing.
No, because the other team doesn't have, like, you just tell. I don't know. I don't know if you need me to like bring up clips, but there's, like, we watched Palace today. What was their system? Zaha's up top, bang it to the big man, Benteke.
That's literally their system.
That's nothing new. You think a lot of teams are doing that in other leagues? Not as much.
Like, what do you describe as a system? Like,
how you play a style, like when, like, I don't know how to go into details here, but like, I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Every team has a system.
Really? So what's Chelsea's system? Explain it to me.
No, we just talked about it. Why'd you bring up Chelsea? That's the one team.
Explain Manchester United's system.
All right. Well, it wasn't like this all season, I don't think. But I remember it was mostly they would try and play on the counterattack. That's what they did all last season. And whenever a team would, like, sit and let Manchester United have the ball, that's when they struggled. I don't know if it's like that much.
Okay,
because
you see
different players in the team now.
Out of all the top teams, Manchester City and Liverpool have the most clearly defined systems, I would say, and they have been the best two teams for the last 4 or 5 years.
Because it works. Because what they do works.
Okay, so why don't these teams try to copy it or have a different?
Because it doesn't work for their team. Maybe they try and
does that even matter? Half these players on Manchester United like weren't even there 3 years ago, so the players don't matter. If you're playing a system and, like, from top down, a team system matters. The Union don't have better players than everyone, but they have a system in MLS and it works. Basically, I'm kind of turning this into a team philosophy system versus players.
All right, I'm not disagreeing with you that teams in the Premier League just buy players and then just put them into the team and think it's just going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not disagreeing with you with that. So what is your argument?
That's just what I'm saying.
Okay.
And then
all right, then we agree.
The other night when we were having this discussion, we're talking about.
We didn't talk about anything you just brought up.
We were talking about. I was arguing something about Serie A. I'm trying to remember.
I'll tell them what it was. You were trying to say that Serie A is the most competitive league.
Look at the top of Serie A.
All right, I'll look at the top of Serie A. What does that show me? It just shows me
all
the
those
top teams with the most points in the league.
All those teams are stacked compared to, like, what you see in the English Premier League.
Oh, dude, what? Man City is 8th right now.
Okay,
they have probably the second best,
and they'll end up
roster in the.
They'll end up top 4, and it's literally just like a fluke kind of thing. Like, so you think like Aston Villa is actually better than Manchester City? No, it's
No.
just like the run of games.
No, exactly. It's form. So
Okay.
all right, the teams in Serie A, you got Juventus, Milan, Inter, Roma, Atalanta, who else? Napoli. You're saying
there's a few
those
others.
teams are better than Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United.
I'm not saying like definitely better, but the league top to bottom seems to be more of a competitive league than the English Premier League.
You think?
Yeah, and what I was arguing was that I
You
forget.
think, considering Aston Villa almost got relegated last year, and now they're right now in seventh place.
Yeah, which seems more of like a fluke than anything. But also what I was arguing is that a team in Germany is better equipped to like sustain success than a team in the English Premier League. I think that was closer to what I was arguing because they probably have the scouts and the training staff and all that. And like that's why these guys probably make more money than the Premier League, who like a team will shell out 30 million and the guy will flop, or 100 million and the guy will flop.
All right. And they've only played 14 matches in Serie A.
Mm-hmm.
Juventus in sixth.
Yeah, because they've drawn like a ton of games.
Yeah, so it's really not that competitive. I think it's just the games that they had and the form that they're in.
How's it not really competitive? Look at transfer market for these teams and look at the squad value. You'd be surprised at like some of the squad values in like the top of Serie A.
Yeah, dude, I know who's on the team, but you're really just trying to start a hot take by saying that the Serie A is more competitive.
No, I'm not. I'm not trying to start.
The most competitive.
I'm not trying to start a hot take. I just think you or plenty of Americans that just watch more English Premier League than any other leagues just assume that it's better and the quality's better. Maybe I'm just looking at with my eyes the quality on the field, but like I just watch a lot of these games and you think it would be better and it's not. Not that the players aren't good, but like the team cohesion and like the quality of the team as a whole.
You think it's just you get there and you're disappointed by how it is, or it's just the games are more competitive? So you're watching a game and you think the good team would dominate, but they don't dominate because it's more competitive,
or because they just get a goal and chill for the rest of the game. Man United scored; they went up 2-1 yesterday, and then just sat back.
Dude, you're also talking about the most like the time of the year with the most games. Like they're trying to get through this time of the year. Yes, so if you talk about this month and this next month, then it doesn't make sense because they're just trying to get through this time of the year because there's so many games.
It just seems to me that there's not enough like full on like executed visions of how a team should play that I'm watching. Like obviously it's easier said than done, but like people do it and that's why teams do well. Right. That's why Atlanta has probably a bottom half of the league budget and finish, I don't know, third or fourth in Serie A.
Yeah, you're right. But it shouldn't just slap you across the face what type of system a team is playing. Because if the other team knew that, they would be able to stop it.
It kind of should, not that it should slap you across the face, but you should be able to tell what they're trying to do.
And you're trying to say that Serie A is more competitive, but this is the Serie A finally has more than 3 good teams for like the past, I don't know, however long I've been watching soccer. Like,
hold on. Exactly. It's like about time, and these guys are getting their stuff together, and it seems like a lot of these English teams are stuck in the same ways, just with more money. That's what I'm saying. Maybe that's like closer to what I'm saying.
Okay, but every other league, it's just the same team that wins every title.
Okay,
like Juventus
that's the top,
will probably eventually end up winning the title this year.
Yeah, but that's the top. I'm saying like between 6 through 8 or, 8 through 12 or something like that. Like I just look at La Liga. There's a reason why those teams have like taken a dip. It's because there's no like reason to innovate. It seems like it's the same style all across Spain. The teams aren't doing as well, especially the big teams now.
Who's constantly up there for Champions League? It's Premier League team. Who's constantly up there for Europa League? A Premier League team.
It's a Premier League team that spends like a Champions League team.
All right, so now you're going to say they spend, so they then do good. But now you're saying that they spend, and then they just spend, and then they don't do it. They don't do anything with the players that they get.
Ugh.
I don't agree with you. I think it's just opinion. I mean, I don't really know how you can say it because you don't watch Serie A like as much as you watch the Premier League.
Maybe
you probably watch one Serie A game per every 10 Premier League games.
I just watch a lot of Premier League games.
You're just looking at the table and seeing, oh, wow, Sassuolo's fifth.
But I do think
that must be a competitive league.
If there's one, like, let's say a French league game on, right, and PSG's playing somebody, it's like it just seems more interesting to me to watch that game. It seems like there's tactical battles going on or like a team style. So the other couple weeks ago, I was watching PSG against somebody. I don't know. It was on Halloween. They played on Halloween. Halloween is a Saturday. And I was like, wow, this game just seemed way more interesting to me. And, like, I don't know if it was just, like, the teams were just so much different than what I'm used to watching, but it just seemed better. I don't know.
It just might be different. Like, it's a different country.
And I like it.
They played in the Premier League. You basically only watch the Premier League, so they're playing the same teams over and over again. So they get familiar with the teams.
I mean, it's the same with every league, but I don't know. Let's do some homework on this and come back. I think we should make it a point to watch.
I don't even know what we just argued, to be honest.
Neither do I, but that's because the other night or a couple weeks ago when we were arguing about it, we also didn't make sense then either. But I don't know. Let's do some homework on it and come back. I think we should watch. So we watch mostly English Premier League, other than like MLS and American soccer stuff. I say we watch a couple games from each league a month. So maybe we watch one Serie A game per month, one French league game per month, one La Liga game per month.
And you think that's going to do it? One game per month?
I do watch a good amount of Bundesliga.
You'll watch one game per month. You've watched one.
I watch just about every Dortmund.
You watch one French league game the whole year, and you think it's such a tactical battle. Come on.
Well, I've also watched them in the Champions League as well. Dude, the Bundesliga, like, all right, so we used to make fun of people that were like, oh, dude, the Bundesliga is so much better than the English Premier League, trust me. But, like, it is, like, more intriguing, I think. Other than the English, like, storylines, like, I'll watch, like, a Dortmund, and who just beat Dortmund pretty bad? Crap, who is that team?
The game right before they fired their coach.
Yeah, I forget.
Scored.
But, like, I like the way Dortmund play. It's pretty nice. But I also, like, the other team was so specifically, like, pressing and trying to counterattack that, like, I could see it and I knew it, and it was just interesting to me.
Oh, dude, you don't think West Brom, that Man City Liverpool West Brom game we were watching?
West Brom played a nice 5-4.
You don't
basically
think that's
a 6-4
how it was?
Formation. No, they just sat behind the ball.
Big Sam was playing that game in chunks. He was playing that in 30 minutes. He was like, you survive the first 30 minutes. We do this next 30 minutes, and then we try and get a goal the next 30. And it worked for them. They got a draw at Liverpool. Like, you could see their style.
To me,
Liverpool style.
All right. I say maybe in a few episodes we'll revisit this after we watch some games. We come back with some homework and say, like, because I want to see. It seems to me like teams in the Premier League, more than I remember, which could be skewed a little bit, are playing for set pieces and restarts and that kind of stuff more than they did in the past. And maybe it's gotten better, but it just seems like that's the way it's going.
All right.
And then we'll kind of like bring this argument back and like list it out so it makes a little bit more sense. Because
episode 16, part 2.
Yeah, part 2, but it's actually episode like 23 or something. But I don't know. That would make sense.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else we need to talk about?
That giveaway.
Oh yeah. So so we were wearing that one bracelet I had from Added Time Outfitters. I'm gonna give that away on my TikTok page. So that's gonna be given away. And I'm gonna have 2 more to give away, and I think I'll probably just give them both away on our podcast Instagram page. So that way we could like shout them out too.
That works.
So that should be cool. So like if you listen to the podcast and don't follow us on social media, follow us on. We post on Twitter sometimes, mainly Instagram and TikTok. And then, you know, if you watch on like Apple or Spotify, do us a favor and leave us like a review or a rating or something. Because I guess that helps. I don't know too much about how Apple promotes their podcast, but that'd be cool. Anything else to talk about?
No, just listeners, enjoy your new year. Hope you guys had a good Christmas.
Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
So after this, I have a few like really good ideas that like I've already started to like really like type out and like.
Oh, watch out, guys.
No, seriously,
Really good ideas.
It's gonna be cool. I have some good stuff, and I think like it's gonna be more structured because I want it to be more informative. Like, so I don't know. There was a few episodes in there where we really went into, I don't know, some of my like rants on like youth coaching or something like that, and I think those had like a few structured points to it. And these past episodes have been, you know, our takes on like some current soccer news, and it was more like shoot from the hip kind of stuff. So these will be more structured and hopefully like informative, so that way people can go back and listen and like actually like take something from them.
Yeah, shoot from the hip. Yeah.
Yeah. And shoot for the set pieces like English Premier League teams do. All right, that's it. You got anything else?
Nah.
All right, that's episode 16.
All right. Thanks for listening. See you guys.
All right, peace.